Hey everybody, it's Caleb Max, your candidate in the 10th Congressional District. I had something come across my plate yesterday, an article from the Federalist that talks about what the state Senate is doing to block legislation that would allow homeschoolers to compete in public school sports, and particularly the Democrats in the state house who are fighting that. And this issue actually resonates very deeply with myself. I was homeschooled from the age of 8 to graduation. And I actually played homeschool sports, and the reason I played homeschool sports was because I was not allowed to compete at the public schools. And you gotta keep this in mind that even though homeschoolers pay the same dollars in taxes, they're not allowed to use the facilities and the fields that are associated with the public schools or compete in those sports. And so I'll never forget, I'd gone through middle school playing rec football, and high school rolled around. I actually had to quit playing football because there was no homeschool football team out here. I would have done it and played at the public school. All my friends were playing, and I remember Friday nights, it broke my heart going and watching all my friends who I'd grown up playing middle school football with being able to compete, and I couldn't. And at the time, I wasn't thinking about it in terms of my dollars were going to help fund that field. I was just thinking about it purely on a personal level. And there's this sense that people say, well, homeschoolers just, they sit at home and they do nothing all day, and that allows them to become better athletes or whatever else. Well, my question is this: if they're getting their schoolwork done and they're getting their grades and the parents are happy with where they are, then why not allow them to stay home? That's a completely wrong argument, and one that is completely ridiculous. And when I get to the U.S. Congress, I'm going to do everything I can to push legislation that will allow for school choice. At the end of the day, parents should decide how and where their children are educated, whether that's at home, whether it's at private school, or which public school best suits them. And those federal dollars that are tied to students, it's a small part, only about 10%, should be tied to the student and follow the student where they go. And we should allow, if we're going to charge them the same amount in taxes on the state and local level, homeschool families and students should be allowed to compete in public school sport activities. It's very simple. Just make them pass the same tests and benchmarks that the athletes in the schools do. Very simple, easily done. So the article is linked below. Please read it. Can't wait to see you all on the campaign trail. Talk to you real soon.